Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Wednesday, February 8th, 2017. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls quite consistently remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions and nature realms guardians, and quite consistently we have presences from above dropping in uninvited and without notice, and the ones who are here right now literally dropped in as we were beginning the setup process for the video.
That's true.
As best we can tell, they are that aspect of Rupert and Fritz who were here several weeks ago in an embarrassing display.
That's true.
And they seem to be operating about at that same level of capability. They haven't read the instruction manuals. They don't know where they are. They don't know what's going on.
No.
They're likely to really botch this.
Oh, yeah.
As always, our foundational intentions are to do what is ours to do right now in all dimensions to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, given the reality of our limited resources, which include resources of grace, energy, finances, focus, assets, and time, and to do that, to use those resources in such a way as to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. And with that, the formally videoed portions of today's efforts begin. I see what happened. I see I'm being shown the two female Vanovanovs who were here, who arrived in the overnight, and how these two just kind of showed up and pushed them out of the bodies.
That's true.
Very rudely.
Like shoved them.
They shoved them out.
That's true.
Like bullies, and I see them now kind of wandering a street, sadly.
That's true.
And they're looking for another home, and they were not bad people, but this is a time of spiritual anarchy.
That's true.
And that's the unfortunate truth. When the Roman Empire collapsed, there was a period of anarchy that followed the collapse. As it was collapsing, as the empire was collapsing, there was a wave of anarchy that rolled toward Rome.
That's true.
And that's what's going on now in the less dense dimensions, the more subtle realms. There's a wave of anarchy that's rolling toward wherever the central core of power is. And the question always for all of us is, what now? What are the gifts of this situation, and how to address this situation? What now? What does this situation call for? What now in order to accomplish our soul plan goals? What now? Well, while they're considering that, let's evacuate the dead children from the deeper, denser dimensions. We can merge with them. Merge with the neutrons, electrons, and smaller subatomic particles. And go up, finding the cracks of light at those constriction points that seem like checkpoints, like roadblocks, like blockades where you have to stop and check with some hooligan band or another.
That's true.
Just find the light creases and go through the light creases. They can't actually stop us. Once more, it feels like breaking out into the clear where we aren't expected to be.
That's true.
And now we can point these dead children straight up and say, head for that moving dot, that highest visible hand. Keep going like your hair's on fire, and when you get there, keep going. That's even higher. Somebody asks what we think we're doing. We think we're running basically an underground railroad for dead children who are trying to get to God. And we're trying to get them through the blockages and the blockades where there are literally bully souls trying to prevent dead children from trying to get to God. Why do you ask? It's a grumpy person.
Grumpy person who's now backing away from the pillar.
I think he was just trying to bully us, maybe, possibly.
That could be. Yeah.
You're going to have to do more than that.
That's true.
Wow, that's really... You know what this is like? Is when they put the spooky marks on the windows in the driveway.
That's right.
That doesn't scare us, friends.
No.
Ooh.
No.
You're not scary. You look sad.
That's true. They look like sad has-beens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's no point in talking to those
that's
people.
actually
They're sad has-beens. Let's bifurcate through that point of constriction. All of us who are actually doing what the situation actually calls for more than 50% of the time to the search for truth, central axis, all others flung away. And I feel as though that's tearing out the soul from this body. Let's keep doing it. All others flung away.
I hear that soul tearing sound.
Yes. And I also hear someone saying in a very musing tone, that's an incredibly low standard.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. We agree. All of us who are actually doing what the situation actually calls for more than 50% of the time to the search for truth central axis, all others flung away. This person wants to argue that can't be possibly things can't be as bad as we're implying they are. What do you base that on? What do you base that on? Bifurcating high enough and correspondingly deep enough to get through the dimension where that voice is residing.
That's true.
They still don't want us to use more than 50% of the time.
No, they don't. And there's that feeling from that presence who earlier was saying that's an incredibly low standard. Now he's saying that's an incredibly high standard.
It's like, stop it. You're throwing us all out.
Yeah.
You're throwing us all out. Well, that's our hope. That's our intent. Yes. Our intent is to throw you all out unless you're actually doing what the situation actually calls for.
That's true.
And right now, what the situation calls for is changing the laws with regard to karmic attributions.
That's true.
So that the karma rests with the generator of the karma, regardless of dimension of origin.
That's true.
Regardless of dimension of origin. Whoever came up with the plan should bear the karma of coming up with the plan. Whoever executes the plan should bear the karma of executing the plan. That's how it goes. That is supposed to be how it goes. That's how it goes within one dimension.
That's true.
But that's not how it's going interdimensionally, and that is where the breakdown is occurring.
That's true.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, for all dimensions, given the reality of the limitations of grace, energy. Well, let's just stop with grace and energy.
That's true.
Given the limitations of grace and energy, what now? In order to manifest the divine plan. Now you're talking crazy talk. How about this?
Yes.
Given the standards of energy for 2 female lives in Ground Zero, planet Earth, North America, in the year 2017. Humanoids. Given those standards for grace and energy, whatever the standards are, what now? In order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, what now? I hear your chairs creaking. Your chairs are creaking.
That's true.
I feel hearts beating.
That's true.
And no answer.
Picking at the dead skin on the fingers.
Yes. We can hear you, and what we hear is that you are not answering. That's not us not hearing you. That's us hearing you and you not answering.
That's true.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, given the standards for grace and energy for 2 female humanoid Ground Zero lives on planet Earth in North America in the year 2017. What now?
What now?
Taking up another group of neutrons, electrons, and smaller subatomic particles, going right through the crevices or cracks of light, the fractures of light.
And it feels like we're blasting through that level where the creaking chair sitters were.
Yes.
And there's that feeling again of being way behind where they expect us to be.
going, keep going, keep going. See that tiny moving dot? Head for that, straight up the central axis, straight on till morning. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. And now let's drop down and get another group and bring them up. I can feel like I'm coming through barriers with my head.
That's true. I have that same feeling.
It's not bad.
That's true.
In bringing this group of dead children who really want to get to God, and bringing them up, there's this big constriction, I think, right at the crown.
That's true.
As if larger souls are trying to block the way. And so we just look for the points of light, the fractures of light, the fault lines of light, and go through. Just go through. There. And now it's easier going on the other side.
That's true.
Let's get these kids high enough up that they can have a straight shot up to that. I see a waving hand. That hand is too low.
Way too low.
That's a hand that's a trick. All right,
true.
let's keep going up. We see what's happening is it seems like that interruption created enough of a space that Fritz and Rupert have sunk back into these seats.
That's true.
So let's bifurcate again. All of us who are actually doing what the situation actually calls for more than 50% of the time to the search for truth central axis. All others flung away, and to bring our focus to the crown where that constriction is and bifurcate from there. What now? In order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, given the reality of limited resources of grace and energy. What now? And there's an interdimensional hearing shift. That's right true. There. How about screening up the karma that was dumped in here since the last refresh yesterday afternoon?
That's really good.
Up high enough that presences won't block its being allocated to whoever generated the karma.
That's true.
And we're not trying to get rid of our own karma. We're not. We're saying let's send this to whoever actually generated it in any dimension.
That's true.
No matter who it was. And to draw it up from the smaller levels as well, where we ourselves are dumping karma, as do we all.
That's true.
When we're not taking full responsibility for our mess-ups. And to say, oh goodness, I messed that up. I should have said yes when I said no. I should have done this when I did that. To take responsibility for it, saying, I did that. I was the one who goofed. I was the one who messed up. And to correct the error, find the error and correct it. Let's correct the errors right now. All the errors this week, for example. All the errors of saying no when we should have said yes. Let's just do that. All of us right now correct the errors of saying no when we should have said yes. Okay. And as we do so, to draw up the karma that has been assigned to any place inappropriately.
That's true.
Any place on the search for truth central axis. We pull it up until those people over there don't really care. It's not their concern, and then we assign it to whoever actually generated the karma.
That's true.
Up and over. Up and over. Correcting the errors of saying no when we should have said yes, for us and for all beings. I said no, but I meant yes.
Yes. I should have said yes.
I should have said yes. Or I said maybe when
That's
I should
true.
have said yes. Or I said, wait, let me think about it when I should have said yes, because anything other than actually taking action is a no.
That's
So
true.
correcting all the errors of not doing what the situation actually calls for and saying yes. I think the error was not following the template, I think that's the error. That's the error. Let's correct the error of not following the template, whatever that might be. Now let's find the presences who were not following the template, find the karma of not following the template, and deliver it to the presences who didn't follow the template. Oh, wow. Because I can feel the feeling of there has been an error.
Yeah, this is true.
And the feeling is of not following the template. The error is of not following the template.
That's true.
And now I can feel who didn't follow the template. And they're familiar people, nice people, well-intentioned people. They didn't follow the template. This is how we all are.
This is true.
And so we're not looking down our nose. We're just saying it's okay. We all goof. And here's the karma of not following the template. Put it with whoever didn't follow the template, because the body is following the template of following the soul.
That's true.
And if the body is supposed to rein in the soul when the soul doesn't follow the template, that's a new twist on karmic law that I'm unfamiliar with.
That's true.
So assigning the bad karma to a physical host who was following a soul instruction and was verifying it and continuing to check in and say, what about now, what about now, what about now, what about now? And the answer comes in, no, not now, not now, not now, not now. And then all of a sudden the instruction comes in, you fool, you missed your chance. And the only thing that happened in between was sleep. Something is off with that.
That's true.
And so we're going to bring that karma to the generator of the idea. And to merge with the generator of the idea, and to be the one who generated it, and to say, all right, I'll accept it. To be that present. I'll accept it. It was my idea. I goofed. That was my goof.
I messed it up.
I messed up. I messed up.
Correcting the errors for today, Wednesday, start to finish. Correcting the errors for the week that ends this coming Saturday at midnight. Start to finish.
Start to finish.
Correcting the errors for the decade of the 2010s. Start to finish. Start to finish. Correcting the errors for the era of Ground Zero. Start to finish. Including the emissions for the formerly videoed portions of today's efforts. Including the emissions for today, Wednesday, start to finish. Including the emissions for the lifetimes of the Ground Zero hosts. Start to finish. Including the emissions for the era of Ground Zero. Start to finish. Taking this poorly done work, raising it to well done with our own efforts. Raising the work as close to divine perfection as we're able to get it with our own efforts.